So we should be able to put these rational numbers on our number line, and we should be able to figure out the order that they go in. So let's start with 9/16. If you notice, how much is half of 16? 8. So if I wrote 8/16, that would be equal to 1/2, correct? But if I have 9/16, isn't that a little bit more than 1/2? Yes. So where could I put that on my number line?
At the 1.
At the 1? I would say between 0 and 1, because isn't the half mark going to be right here? So it's going to be a little bit above the half mark, 9/16. Does that make sense, how to put that on the number line? Look at fractions. Okay, 225%. Remember on our FDP quiz, when you had a number over here that was a decimal, I told you to get it to a percent, you got to move it 2 times to the right. Percent to decimal is the opposite, 2 times to the left. So I would get 2.25. And Emily, where would that go on my number line? 2.25. Between what 2 numbers do you think? It's 2.25. So it's more than 2, right? So I would say between the 2 and the 3. And it's not quite 1/2, because 1/2 would be a 5 right there. So this will be my 225%. 3.75, Sam, what numbers would that go between?
That would be
3.75. That would go between what 2 whole numbers?
between 3 and 4.
Between 3 and 4. And it's a little more than halfway. 4 and 15/16. Where would that go, Charisma? Between what 2 numbers? Between 4 and 5. And it's almost up to 5 because it's 15/16. So that's pretty close. And then I've got 6. So once you put them on your number line, can you see which ones are smaller and which ones are bigger? Yeah, so you can just look left to right. This is smallest, the next smallest, the next smallest, bigger, biggest, right? You can do the same thing with negatives. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you stretching? Okay. So we can use the number line to put them in order. We can do the same thing with negatives. So let's practice writing some integers. Some might be positive, some might be negative. So you might need to look at your keywords we just looked at. A gain of 5 yards. Is gain going to be positive or negative, Carlito? Positive. So when I write 5 yards, do you think I need to put a positive sign, a plus sign in front of it? You don't have to. It's just like a positive number you've been learning about since kindergarten. You do not have to put a positive sign. Now on negatives, do I expect you to put a negative? Yes, you have to put a negative. But on positives, you just write it how you always have. Okay? What about a deposit of $4, Mac? Positive or negative? It has it in the word. Positive. Deposit, you can always remember easily, Natalie, eyes this way, because it's got the part of the word positive in it. So that's going to be a positive $4. Again, you do not have to put the sign on positive. So if I was going to put those on the number line, I would just put them as usual. You can also do that with the negative numbers. So what about if I had a loss of 5 yards? Mia? That would be negative 5. And a withdrawal of $4. Withdrawal means what, Emmanuel? Negative. So that'd be negative 4. What side of 0 would I put those on the number line? If they're negative numbers, to the left or to the right?
Left.
To the left. So that means I would have to label my number line. That's always my first step. If it wants you to put on the number line, always label your number line first. And I have a negative 4 and a negative 5. Okay? So those are going to be on the left. Look at this next question. How are earning $6 and spending $6 related? If I earn $6, is that positive or negative, Rachel? Positive. You're taking in money for yourself, right? What if I spend it at Walmart? Is that positive or negative? Negative. I'm giving it away, correct, to someone else. How are those numbers related? Positive 6, negative 6. What did I tell you those two things were called, Tyler? Starts with an O. Positive 6, negative 6. Opposites. Those are your opposites. Very good. So on a number line, you would just plot them just like we did our other opposites. Positive 6, negative 6. Okay. I don't think we're going to have much time to move on. The next thing that we're going to be talking about is how to put them in order, small to big, and that's where we will jump in tomorrow. We'll take some brief notes tomorrow, and then we'll jump into an assignment where you can try this stuff. And then Wednesday, we get to start adding them. So you'll like that, maybe. All right, it's fun. All right, file your yellow paper behind your notes if you haven't already done so. I can get my thing off.